Jai Prabhuji. What are the things people want to achieve in life? Well, each one has personal goals. We share many general ones. We want good health, physical and mental. We want financial stability, good relationships, and also the possibility to enjoy whatever we wish. All these things, we believe, will make us happy. Today, we discuss the purpose of life and the most serious problem we have, the suffering. The Kamakanda of the Vedas, the Mantra Samhitas, and the Brahmanas discuss actions that provide benefits. This portion describes human desires and the means to satisfy them. This system outlines 4 main categories for human pursuit. Each individual within the social structure is encouraged to pursue those goals according to their personal preferences and position in the spiritual evolutionary process. Those are the Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Righteousness, wealth, pleasure, and liberation, respectively. Prabhuji explains it in his book Advaita Vedanta. Artha is wealth or livelihood. Wealth means more possibilities and fewer limitations in pursuing our goals. But more than that, Prabhuji indicates, it gives us a sense of security. We want to be sure we will always have what is necessary: food to eat, a house for shelter, and that all of our needs will be fulfilled. In other words, we will not suffer. All means by which we try to sustain and protect ourselves fall in this classification. It's important to mention that our instinct drives this goal. The hamster that stores seeds for the winter is essentially not different in that aspect from the layperson who saves money. He saves for what? For personal or family emergencies, for higher education. Whatever comes his way, resources will be available, making sure I will thrive or at least survive. The homeowner building a fence around his property is much like the animal marking its territory. Kama refers to the pursuit of pleasure. If Artha means wealth and security for survival, Kama gives it the meaning of enjoyment. Food is for the nourishment of the body, but we want to eat tasty food. The pleasure is so important that we crave all sorts of unhealthy, ultra-processed, fast food, fried food, high fructose, because it's tasty. On the other hand, there is food that we detest. Even though it's nutritious, we don't want to eat it. Bath is for hygiene, but we want warm water, hot tub, jacuzzi, and perfume or cologne. A house is for shelter, but our dream home is a mansion with private gym and swimming pool. Kama and Artha are shared by humans and animals because they are driven by instinct. While animals act only according to their nature, consciousness is manifested in humans in a more refined level. Humans can be motivated by moral and rational ideas. Buddhi is the higher mind that evaluates information and takes decisions in complex circumstances. This faculty makes it possible to us to resist our impulsive behavior and act against our automatic patterns. It gives us immense power to manipulate nature, to achieve higher goals, but at the same time, our responsibility is put to the test. We now need to distinguish good from bad, right from wrong. Humans are qualified to follow Dharma. Dharma may translate as religion or righteousness, but not necessarily as a given set of rules. In the context of the Purusharthas, it would mean cosmic duty or the right way. Everything has its orderly function within the cosmic manifestation. The rain falls, the plants grow, there is food for animals and people, and the ecosystem is working in perfect but delicate balance. If something doesn't work in harmony, the whole system is disrupted and there is a problem, perhaps a famine or epidemic or climate shift. On the human social level, each individual has a role. Parents need to take care of their children. If they neglect their duty, the children suffer and they grow unhealthy. They may become dysfunctional adults. The dharma of a doctor is to take care of the sick. Because the doctor has the knowledge and the training, it is unethical not to help a person who comes to him for medical care. A responsible action is carried out in harmony with the surroundings. If Dharma is maintained, all else is made legitimate because it gives any activity the right place, time, and context. It's how we pursue our desired goals without hurting others, without disrupting social or environmental order. If I need to bring home food, I need to buy it or grow it. But stealing it is not good. It will hurt someone else who worked for it and put there his resources. By following Dharma, we cause less suffering to our fellow humans and help each other prosper. On the individual level, Dharma holds great significance. The real incentive, according to the Vedas, is karma. Integrating Dharma into our life helps us navigate merit and demerit for good karmic results. We already know that our choices and actions will return to us with the same quality and intensity. We were given all these possibilities to work and pursue happiness. Not only every human, but in fact every being that embodies life force is searching for happiness. Trees grow by this impulse, birds fly, soldiers fight in a war. Everything is inspired by this same force that drives growth. But there is one problem remains, that despite everybody try their hardest, no one seems to achieve happiness. Some moments of pleasure may be attained by material means, but not perpetual joy. No object or activity can give us continuous contentment or permanent satisfaction. Even when we finally obtain our most desirable objective, the gold medal, the dream house, the esteemed position, the experience of triumph doesn't last long. We soon find ourselves with the same greedy one that is now again feeling empty and chasing another achievement. The fact that we are constantly looking for more pleasures and goals indicates that we didn't get to that place of fulfillment. What could be the cause of the problem? Prabhuji gives us his perspective. Many people claim to be searching for something in their lives. The truth is that we confuse fleeing from suffering from searching for happiness. We think we are looking for love, but in fact, we are trying to elude loneliness. We claim to aspire to freedom, but what we are really doing is running away from oppression. We believe we seek wealth, but in fact, we're only fear poverty. We think we take care of ourselves, but in reality, we are hypochondriacs who escape illness. We think we seek paradise, but we only aspire to avoid hellfire. Instead of going after something, humanity lives in constant flight. The energy that fuels our ambitions comes from fear, not inspiration. Prabhuji comes with quite disheartening statement, but let's try to understand what it means. What is that pain that we experience? First, we need to wake up to the fact that most of the time we suffer. Let's look at our basic daily life. What do we do every day? In every 24 hours, we need to sleep 7 or 8 to alleviate fatigue. 3 times we need to relieve hunger, and there are other nature calls. We need doctors and medicines because all kinds of illnesses. We need to send our children to school and go to work for someone who profits from our labor more than he compensates us. We need to pay bills, rent or mortgage, taxes, visit our in-laws, take the car to the garage. Now, what are the occasions that we experience pleasure? Tonight, we will do something special. We are going to eat dinner at a restaurant. So, we eat. What is most pleasurable about it is that we don't need to prepare or wash the dishes. Or we go on vacation to the Bahamas, and there, on the magical beach, it's too hot. The sun is burning our skin, and we need to drink a lot to keep cool and hydrated. But we enjoy. We enjoy so much. What is the joy? To be away from work and home routine for a few days. Imagine a perfect world, what it would be like. No wars, no crime. All the people are safe and nice to each other. Food is available, tasty food for free. And in every country in the world, the government would give beautiful houses for all the people, and free transportation and entertainment, and no disease, no illnesses. In such a world, would we run after the same goals as now? Would we work hard for money, for social status? Would we hold political positions? Most of us probably not. It would be useless. Prabhuji writes, the energy that fuels our ambitions comes from fear, not inspiration. This narrative wasn't about any euphoric or ecstatic state. The utopia I described was only a pain-free setting, supposedly a neutral situation. And yet the imagination of it gave us a very comforting feeling. And I think it makes us realize how much our life and common objectives revolve around the experience of suffering. How much we sacrifice daily, not aspiring for bliss or to be overjoyed, but merely to maintain pain-free conditions. Pleasure is conditional. To enjoy an object, Prabhuji explains, we must have the right conditions. If I wish to see the Mona Lisa, a few things are required. I need the material resources to travel to Paris and pay the entrance fee at the Louvre Museum. In addition, I need a healthy sense organ. Without eyes and proper vision, there is no way I can enjoy the masterpiece. And even then, I still need the appropriate mental and emotional state. I made it to the museum. I'm standing in the line to enter to see the painting. And suddenly, I receive a phone call from my landlord's lawyer. Will I still be enjoying the exhibition? Probably not as I expected to. The pleasure from an object requires abstinence. How much can I enjoy vacation? A week in the Bahamas, maybe even 2, but to stay there for good, it's meaningless. All my life to sit on the beach, I will want to go home. I will miss my family and my friends, and I bet many of us will even miss work. When we will enjoy our favorite ice cream more, if we get to have it only once a month, or if we eat only this for a full month, when we will be more excited to meet our spouse when they come back from the kitchen, or when they are back from long-term deployment. This is bhogatyaga in Sanskrit, pleasure and abstinence. In order to enjoy an object, we need periods in which it is not available to us. Pleasure comes from suffering. What we call happiness is nothing more than a temporary relief from suffering. Our so-called happiness depends on previous afflictions. Without feeling sadness first, we would not experience happiness. Prabhuji refers in his text to Carl Jung, saying that happiness has a meaning only because of sadness. We love the weekends because on the other days we need to work. But if we don't work any day, then what is the meaning of a day off? Moreover, the pleasure is proportional to the suffering it alleviates. The more effort and sacrifice made for a particular purpose, the greater will be the joy once the goal is achieved. We enjoy drinking water because we are thirsty. Sometimes we forget to drink water, or we want only flavored drinks. But if our car broke in a remote place on a hot day and we don't have water for a few hours, our pleasure will be immense when we get to drink. What is the value of a solution if there is no problem? The United States and Canada achieved peace agreement. But what is the meaning of such truth if there is no war and there is no conflict? A ceasefire is needed in other places in the world where people fear for their lives each day and they desperately need relief. There, peace agreement will make headlines and celebrations. Therefore, every worldly happiness that we experience is not only relative, it comes from pain. Attraction and aversion are one and the same. All pairs of opposites are essentially connected because they derive their meaning one from the other. Prabhuji often uses this example that if a child is born and raised in a lighted room and doesn't know what darkness is, he doesn't know what is light either. Our experiences are qualified by their contrary. We hear sounds because the background is silent. We recognize movement because another element in our perception is still. In the dichotomy of attraction and aversion, raga and dvesha, in Sanskrit, we distinguish things that we like from those that we dislike. There are activities we do for pleasure. We go to the concerts to enjoy music, and other things we do to avoid pain. We go to the dentist to alleviate toothache. Very clearly, one is for fun, the other is for pain prevention. But Prabhuji's speech here is even more extensive and strong. He says, no, we're only escaping pain. He teaches us that raga and dvesha, attraction and aversion, are not different aims. It's a movement in one direction. The same intention that repels us from anguish and discomfort is the one that compels us to seek happiness and enjoyment. And it is also the one that gives it its meaning. Desires are the cause of suffering. Prabhuji says that pleasure is not happiness. He calls it covered slavery and suffering. We may satisfy many of our bodily needs and desires, but we will keep looking for happiness because the pain is camouflaged in sweet conceptions and hopes. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali Maharishi mentions 5 causes of suffering or afflictions. In Sādhanā Pada, Sutra 3, Avidya smita raga dvesha bhinivesha klesha. The pain-bearing obstructions are ignorance, egoism, attachment, aversion, and clinging to life. In Sutra 7, attachment is explained, Sukha nushai raga. Attachment is that which dwells on pleasure. The word raga is translated as attachment, attraction, interest, enjoyment or delight in something. So what is attachment? Once we obtain a desirable object, this moment of joy leaves a striking impression. We associate the experience with the object as if our pleasure is in it, comes from it. At that point, we feel, I found it. I have it. And we want to secure it for the future, when we will attempt to recreate the sensation by indulging. For example, what we call in popular language love, such as in a relationship, in yoga, it is referred to as attachment. Why? I love my romantic partner. I'll never forget that magical moment when we met, and for a while we were on clouds. But now I'm also full of envy. I'm afraid that he will like another woman. And if one day he leaves me, it's a tragedy. So my so-called love has turned into a nightmare. There is so much jealousy, anxiety, and fear of loss. So how restricted it is that my happiness is only when a specific person is next to me, his attention is on me, and he feels a certain way. Obviously, this is impossible. I cannot stop life at one position and make it stand still. From a yogic perspective, true love is unconditional. Whereas clinging to an object, trying to own it in order to extract pleasure, is called attachment. And it's a source of misery. We want to possess the object, but in reality, we succumb to it. It controls our thoughts and feelings. I'm happy because I have a new car. It's a feeling that I have added value, and it is associated with a new vehicle. I worked hard and I saved money, and finally I purchased one. So the effort and the time that was put into resourcing it contributed to the feeling of value and accomplishment. So now there is an attachment. How will we let go of such a valuable item? It is my car, my beautiful new car. Its possession means attainment, power, status, my sacrifice. So now, do I enjoy it? I sure do. But it also costs fortune to maintain it. A lot of effort in gas, tolls, repairs, and insurance. So my car serves me, but at the same time, I need to serve it too, to take care of it, to clean it, to protect it. And if it gets scratched, it makes me extremely upset. It is not a scratch in a piece of metal. It is in my hard work and sacrifice. It's a damage to my future happiness. And this is an attachment and slavery. My sense of value and independence is built on a mechanic instrument, on a tool for transportation. The Vedas offer another objective, which we are yet to discuss. When we pursue Dharma, Kama, and Artha, we have the opportunity to safely navigate all the educational channels in the school of human life. But there are a few among us who lost their faith in material objectives. They feel disappointed. They start to turn down many worldly so-called pleasures, and they question this reality. They wish to break free of the cycle. The mantra samhitas and the brahmanas helped us so far in achieving material goals, but they were unable to stop our desires. As long as we have this appetite, no achievement will satiate us. How can we root out the source of suffering? We will discuss it in our upcoming meetings. Jai Prabhuji.